Good afternoon. It is June the 4th, 2025, and this is the Denver Business Beat podcast. My name is Erica Netterville. I'm your host today, and my very special guest today is Rod Heimlich.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hi, Erica. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Give a little backstory to Rod. We're in a B2B DTC exchange group on Fridays, and our group is warm. We know
Friendly,
everybody.
fun, yeah.
Fun. We laugh. We cut up. We talk smack. We have a really good time. And I've never had anybody with the healthcare industry on the show, so you're going to be a first on that.
All right.
Really exciting. Before we get into the interview, though, can you tell us a little bit about where you went to school, where you grew up, and how long you've been in Colorado?
Yeah, actually, I am a native. I grew up here in Colorado.
The third native in a row. Oh my
right?
God!
I'm a native. I spent my super young years in Longmont.
Oh.
And about 8th grade, I moved to Parker.
Oh, okay.
And I opened Ponderosa High School when it first opened.
Wow.
And just, yeah, a lot of crazy. Joined the Navy, and then I lived in San Diego for 20 years. So
Wow.
Now I'm back.
And now you're back. How long have you been back?
About 10 years, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think if you're from here, you'll always come back. And if you came here and you lived here and you went someplace else, you usually come back too. Because me and my third husband lived here in 2017, and he hated it and I loved it. Well, when we parted ways 3 years later, I said, I'm going back. And I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd want to live or want to be. Denver is a warm and welcoming city. It's a hard city. You got to bust your butt and really work hard to make a good way. But if once you get that going, the rest of it's all easy. So Rod, the health coverage guy, where did that neat little trendy title come from?
So I was working for another company, and back when Obamacare came out, the Supreme Court changed the words health insurance to equal the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare or the Marketplace. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
They changed the words to that. So in the end, I wasn't allowed to be Rod, the health insurance guy.
Oh.
I had to use the word coverage. So I'm Rod, the health coverage guy.
A couple of the viewers will probably want to know this information. When did they stop charging for your taxes at the end of the year if you didn't have some kind of health care?
Oh, that's a great question. So when Obamacare first came out, everybody knows there was that tax penalty.
Yeah.
You either have it or you don't. The whole point behind it was the healthy people will help offset the cost of the not healthy people.
Right.
Once President Trump took over in 2016, literally the first thing he did was remove that penalty. Now, because it's a constitutional law, they couldn't remove it that way. So now it's just a zero penalty.
Oh, okay.
So yes, it exists, but there's no dollars attached to it.
Tell us all about the coverages, what type of health coverage you provide with your company, and all of those types of details.
That's so I provide private health care as well as public group. It doesn't matter if you're single or a family or a business owner that's got one employee or a business owner that's got 100 employees. It doesn't matter. I can service them all. What I really do is I start with what you have. Right? Let's look at what you have. Let's find out what you do like, what you don't like, and then let's alter that.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, there's only two ways to get a big bill.
Okay.
You either had some sort of accident that took you to the hospital, or you had some kind of sickness that took you to the hospital. That's it. And as long as your plan is set up to have money for that, then it doesn't come out of your pocket at the end.
Wow.
The misconception that people have is that my health insurance pays for everything. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I'd be willing to bet, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never met one person whose insurance did pay for everything.
Wow.
If you're at an IBM size company, it's a definite maybe, right? But most people don't. And so it's all about being prepared when life throws you those things, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's either an accident or a sickness. That's really the bottom line with
it. What are some of the challenges that you faced here in 2024? And what is it looking like in the spectrum of 2025 as far as changes to maybe how policies are done or coverage or limits, things of that nature?
Gotcha. So here in Colorado, there's a lot of different laws that really restrict what a health insurance company can and can't offer, things that they can provide. The good news is that if you're not on a government plan or a group plan, your group decides how they raise prices, things like that. But most of the policies out there, they don't work off of like your car insurance does, where if you use it, your price goes up.
Yeah.
A lot of health plans aren't like that. You can use the heck out of it, and
It stays the same?
either everybody in your zip code gets a price hike or nobody gets a price hike.
Oh.
Right? That's where a lot of things are moving to as we move forward.
What would you say to someone that was wanting to get into the healthcare industry coverage?
Right?
I want to use that word, coverage.
Coverage, right?
What would be the trajectory, to the path to get to someone seasoned like yourself?
It's just got to start. It's sales in the sense of sales, right? Just like everything else. And the one thing you find is if you go into it with a pure heart of I want to help you, because the reality of the industry is there's two types of people.
Sure.
There's people that care about their pocket, or there's people that care about your pocket.
Right.
I'm the guy that cares about your pocket, right? Because it doesn't matter how much coverage you have, A, if you can't afford it, and then B, when the poo hits the fan, if the bill is so large you just can't afford it, right? People don't take that into account, that eventually the bill does come due.
Yeah. Do insurance providers coverage payment plans back to the hospitals or surgery centers? What does that look like?
So there's a lot of different ways to work with that, right? One of the biggest problems in healthcare is transparency.
Yeah.
Right? Getting the doctors, getting the hospitals to be transparent with their billing, right? That's its own set of laws, that's its own problems. The laws go in force, but they seem to take a long time to settle in.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of times people get bills that are outrageous and they don't understand why.
Yeah.
It's super simple. Usually it's an error on the doctor's side. Call it the billing department, whatever, right? Let's say you went in for something related to an accident and they bill it out as a sickness. Well, there's different benefits to pay for those, right? So that's how people get these large bills.
Yeah.
Now, one of the best things out there is there's a lot of private health companies that have some sort of bill negotiator that comes with your plan, so that if your bill is, let's say, over $500, right, they'll go in and help negotiate that bill down for you. And then at the end of the day, here's the part nobody tells you, every single hospital bill is negotiable.
Wow.
Right? Especially if you're going to pay for it. So that's something, we should talk about that.
And we're going to talk about that. A few years back, you had a health issue. And we're not going to talk about it because it's HIPAA.
Right?
But you found some discrepancies and some things that you had to go back and forth with. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about that in case they ever find themselves in that situation?
Absolutely.
And if they did, then you definitely want to get in touch with Rod so that that doesn't happen in the future.
Exactly. So I ended up, I'll just be honest, I ended up with meningitis back in 2017. And I was in ICU for 4 days. There were just all kinds of massive bills. Like the bill came to me, it was over $1 million. Like I don't know how to process that.
Right? Were you unconscious?
I was unconscious for 4 days.
Oh my God.
They kept bringing me around to sign different paperwork.
Oh my God.
But yeah, every time they did, hey, for the past so many hours, you've been non-responsive, shy of breathing. Right? So things like that. And I just learned a whole lot. There's a lot that your health plan just has to say, oh, we don't have benefit for that.
Wow.
Well, if they charge it, somebody has to pay for it.
Yeah.
And that somebody ends up being you.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned so much. And that's how I ended up getting into health insurance.
Yeah.
Because I saw the gaps in my own coverage.
Sure.
I worked for Verizon. I thought I had great insurance.
Yeah. And that gap is really real. There's the bill and what the insurance is going to cover, and then what's left that you have to take care of. Now, here's the $1 million question. Is there some type of insurance gap, or whatever you want to call it, that the insurance pays, and then whatever that portion's left, that other policy can handle that. What does that
Absolutely.
look like?
It just depends on, so a lot of policies will allow you to, let's just call it Obamacare. You have an Obamacare plan, they'll allow you to have a private health plan on the backside of it, right? A lot of people don't know Obamacare is state specific. I don't care what state you're in, that's the biggest it goes, right? A lot here in Colorado are county specific. If you go skiing, you need to think about that. Forgot where I was going with that. I apologize.
Gap coverage, what's left?
Yeah, so that way you can double dip on the plans to help pay for it. And at the end of the day, it's you pay for it in premium on the left hand, or you pay for it, in bills you owe on the right hand.
Yeah.
Right? Either way, you got to pay for it. Which way is cheaper? That's the best way to go.
Yeah, it makes sense to have the policy, the coverage, and then that gap portion, because if you are ill, or if there's cancer in your family or heart attack, be proactive and just schedule an appointment so he can give you
free policy
review. Go over that stuff. What are you missing? Maybe I got a really good policy.
And if you do, I'm going to tell you, because that's real.
But maybe you need some other stuff. Maybe some things and you want to go in a good way that's going to take care of whatever that is. Now, with this insurance coverage, and this is going to be a big question, and we're going to see this in the comments, mothers, pregnancy, babies, that arena, because having a child now could be like $500,000.
Yeah, there is unfortunately not a lot of really good plans for pregnancy. They aren't, right? The government knows there's a lot of pregnancies out there. If you look at all your bills, all the times you've been to the hospital, how often did they try to get you out of there in under 24 hours?
Yeah.
That's a pregnancy thing. Right? You have a kid, they try to push you out in under 24 hours. A lot of the benefits that kick in are after 24 hours, right?
Wow.
So they work, the hospitals work in conjunction.
Moms, you hear that?
Yeah.
A lot of the
so
stuff
there are
comes
ways.
available
There are
after
absolutely
24
ways.
hours.
You negotiate prices. Depending on the plan you have, there's just different ways I would advise you to move forward with it. But there's an answer for everything.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about a senior. And maybe they have Medicaid and Medicare. What would be the best additional coverage to offset anything in that regard so that there's no cap outs or extra billing? Or what does that look like when a senior person goes in and has Medicaid, Medicare, and your coverage?
Gotcha. So it's a baited question in the sense, I'm just going to separate them, Medicaid and Medicare. Medicaid is low income, you need extra aid. Medicare is based on your age, over 65, you need more care, right? When you're with Medicare, they're changing those laws all the time. I don't do the over 65 myself, but I have some real good people that treat their clients like I do, to give you the right advice, guide you the right way. A lot of that stuff, once you hit over 65, doesn't cost you anything. It's crazy. You just have to have it set up right. That's the key.
That's amazing. So what would you tell somebody that's wanting to get into the industry in a directory of schooling? What courses, classes, or school would you take so that you could sell insurance?
That is an easy one. There's a lot of different schools out there, and it's really just pick the company that you want to work for. And most every company has a preferred licensing study course.
So you could possibly get the job and the certificates or whatever training you need to work there and have the licensing.
That's how I did.
Wow.
I could barely spell insurance.
So that they could get a good staff member. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears a little bit, and before we do that, we will go back into handles so that you'll be able to get his email, website, phone number, LinkedIn, all of that. We're going to give you all of that in just a little bit as well. But you recently started a new project, and I'm really excited to hear a little bit about it. The Colorado Dad Tribe. Tell us a little bit about that.
Colorado Dad Tribe is an amazing movement that I've started here in Colorado. It's just dads helping dads be better dads to raise better kids for the future. Right? Just we do free events. Every single thing we do for a dad is absolutely free.
Wow.
We hold events, we do giveaways. Heck, we just gave away, someone won a free electric bill or their energy bill for all of 2025.
Wow.
Right, that was one that we just gave away. We just took a family to Disneyland.
Oh.
There was a biplane that a boy won, a flight on a biplane. It was just amazing stuff. But they do that stuff all the time. It's free to join. It's free to enter. It's free. I can't stress the word free enough. There are sponsors that pay for everything. You might be thinking, oh, there's got to be a charge for that. There isn't. There's sponsors. It's just a pretty amazing movement, and I'm really just starting it on the ground floor. It's not as big as it's gonna be, but tomorrow's coming.
Yeah, that's exciting. If somebody wants to get involved with the Colorado Dad Tribe, what does that look like getting involved with that?
Super duper easy. Go to coloradodadtribe.com. Start there.
Wow.
And
Is that right?
it'll just, it'll have instructions how to sign up, and like it's going to take you longer to do that's it. That's all you got to do, and the rest just happens. You're involved in the contest, and there's instructions.
There's so many dads that have full custody of their kids
Yes.
now. One of our good friends, you and mine both, Jude Sandoval, does a podcast on dads and some of the struggles that dads face after divorce and some of the things that they go through.
Yeah.
Some dads are a full-time dad and the mother is not even in the picture or passed away or lives in another area. So having a resource for dads is a great opportunity between Colorado Dad Tribe, and a big shout out to Jude Sandoval and his Divorced Dads podcast. That's an international podcast all over the world. He is really vigilant.
It's worth checking out.
Yeah, he's really vigilant with helping and supporting dads. So it's beautiful. I ask all of my guests these next two questions.
Okay, hit me.
And if you've watched any of the shows, you know what they both are. So if Rod could go back to his 15-year-old self, what would you say to prepare you for where you're at right now in this seat?
Wow, that's a good one. Take the younger years more seriously.
Yeah.
There's a starting gun, whether you heard it or not.
Yeah.
It was there.
No, that's...
And if I'd have taken the younger years more serious, I would have been farther ahead than I am today.
Amen to that.
Right,
That's
right.
We're going to switch gears to your 80-year-old self.
All right.
What would be the legacy that you'd want to leave for your friends, your family, your clients, your kids, all of that?
Honestly, I thought about that. And at my eulogy, I just want everyone to say how awesome I was. What a great guy, how he cared. Like, that's where I've really pushed my focus,
Yeah.
giving back more than taking away.
That's beautiful. It really is. So can you give all of our viewers all of your handles,
Yeah.
how to get a hold of you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, the email, website, all of that?
All of it. So it's pretty easy. All of the socials, I'm either Rod the Health Coverage Guy or Rod Heimlich.
That's a spelling of RODHEIMLICH. Is that, what's the history of that?
German. Heimlich like the maneuver.
Yeah. My mother's family is all German. They were Eismanns, and
Okay.
the Eismanns in Germany were all bankers, and they financed Hitler's regime. So, little piece of ugly history there in my family.
That's crazy. I have Eismanns in my
Do you
family.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my
That
God.
is really weird. I wish my mom was alive because I have questions now.
Yeah, same. She married a Barger who was Norwegian and Switzerland. And he has Viking. So that's my whole mother's family side of the family. And then on my father's side of the family, they're all, dad's mom's side is 100% Cherokee Indian. And then the other side is Booth. John Wilkes Booth is my
Wow.
5th great grandfather back, who shot Abraham Lincoln for freeing slaves. Yeah, so on both sides of my family, I have the most ugly history you would ever want to think about. But me and my sister and my brothers, and my other sister passed away, we broke those family bonds, and we're so completely different than our ancestors. But here's the thing, I'm a reincarnated being. would it be something if we were cousins or brother,
Right?
sister, or
Like
brothers
seriously,
or wives or
I bet if
something
we look
back
hard
in the
enough,
day?
there's a twist in there.
That's pretty awesome. Today we're here at Serendipity Labs filming. So many things are moving with the podcast. That's really incredible. Of
Exciting
course,
stuff.
oh my God. Of course, you know, last month the website went live, the hosting went live. So many really great things happened, and I just have to give a huge shout out to William and Friends, William Turner, for changing my life. Serendipity Labs is a great place to come for a co-working day, or maybe you want a permanent office here.
It's a beautiful location.
Maybe you're gonna do some off-site interviews so that you're not causing chaos in your building with 20 people coming in for interviews. Everybody's worried, am I losing my job? Are they replacing me? This is a great place to do just that. Maybe a presentation, a networking event, a social, a function, right here at Serendipity Labs in beautiful downtown Denver. Morgan and Cassie can give you a tour, give you booking information. Some really amazing things again happened with the podcast. We now have an address, and it's right here in Serendipity Labs. We are in my permanent office. I will use this office for my staff to sell media kits. Oh yeah, the media kit is coming on board as well. For $1,000, you will be able to get 52 episodes. You will be able to get 12 emails to 10,000 a month, and they can be seasonably changed. So spring, summer, Valentine's Day, Christmas, whatever you want your newsletter to look like. And then 2 guest appearances on the show, 6 months at a time, so that you really got that coverage. Marketing is so hard right now. These shows are getting watched 4,000 and 5,000 times, 6,000 times per episode. So to be able to get that kind of traction and one-time year fee, and we'll even break it down.
Only
$1,000. $1,000. So really great things are coming on. If you want more information, you can go to our website, www.thedenverbusinessbeatpodcast.com, and shoot us an email, or you can email us directly at thedenverbusinessbeat@gmail.com for more information. Today is a big day in Denver. We're getting ready to go over to Leads Connect at the Denver Metro Chamber, which is going to be really exciting. And then this evening, we have 1445 Connect, and that is where all members merge to the chamber, and we have a wonderful cocktails, appetizers, networking, hanging out with friends, building relationships that transcend from business to friendship. I have so many friends that I walk Sloan's Lake with, or go to lunch, or go up to the mountains with, and I met them at the Denver Metro Chamber. I'm ambassador there with the Denver Metro Chamber. I'm also ambassador with the West Denver Metro Chamber. So get involved, come to events and functions, network and grow your business. Catherine Williams or Nicholas Fata with the Denver Metro Chamber can help you with your membership there. And at the West Metro Chamber, Erin Atchison or Miriam can help you with membership there. Check out both of their monthly events and calendars, all kinds of events, functions, networking, early or afternoon or after hours with a little cocktail. And it is just a really great way to connect. I want to just take a moment and say thank you to all of our viewers, all the people that interact with the shows, all of our guests that come on. We have a beautiful lineup for June. We are booking for July, and we think we pretty much got that covered. But if you're wanting to be a guest on the show, shoot me an email and tell me all about you and your business and your brand, and we'll get you on the show. And we just need a headshot sent via email and your information, and we'll get that up on our socials that you're coming onto the show. So you're getting weeks of advertising as well, just in that part as well. So pretty exciting things going on here at the podcast, pretty exciting things going on at Serendipity Labs, pretty exciting things going on for Colorado Dad Tribe and Rob the Health Coverage
If you know
Guy.
a dad, have them sign up.
Absolutely.
Even somebody that just might be a stepdad or
Yeah.
lives with a lady that's got a kid.
Yeah.
Or vice, where you get me.
Yeah, they need that kind of fellowship with other dads as well, because sometimes that's a new arena for them to be.
Yeah, just a place where you can complain. There's
Yeah.
and just not have to worry about getting back to the wife, right? Like
We've had a great show today. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Love you to death, and always enjoy hanging out with you and being in your energy. And he's funny. And outside of this podcast, you gotta watch him because he loves a story. He'll tell you a good story.
I will.
It'll be colorful too, I promise.
Unfortunately.
That has been our show today. We want to remind you that June the 11th and June the 13th is Bagels in Business, 8 a.m. here on the 11th. And then on Friday the 13th, which is crazy, is CBBN, and that's our Contractors Business Breakfast networking event. It's huge. A lot of property managers, carpet cleaners, HVAC, plumbers, flooring, construction people, construction rental services, all kinds of different people to connect with at CBBN. Very, very exciting networking event. Both of those events are here at Serendipity Labs and free to attend with a free breakfast and great networking. I think that's been our show today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and hanging out with us. I'm Erica Netterville. This is Rod Heimlich, and that's been our episode for today. Have a great day.
Thanks.